Okay, this video is going to be a short follow-up to my video that I made earlier about Quicken, or no, not Quicken, TurboTax, which I think is made by Quicken. And the video was, should I use it to do my taxes? Well, the answer is, I guess yes, because I did do it to do my taxes and it worked out. I will say I did use Google's Gemini AI to help me with quite a bit of the taxes. I have rental houses that I needed to bring back into TurboTax. I used to use it many years ago, but I haven't used it for some time because I was having a CPA prepare my taxes. I decided to go back and just do it myself. I figured I'm retired, so I might as well just start putting a little bit of time in. So, real quick, I know I'm jumping all over. Basically, I was paying about a little over $1,000 to have my taxes done by a CPA, and I know some of you might think that's a lot, but keep in mind it was a CPA, not just like the tax preparer at H&R Block, so it was a real accountant. But anyway, I decided that I thought I could just do this on my own, and it wasn't easy, I'm not going to lie, but going forward, I think it will be. And going back to what I was saying earlier, I have depreciation schedules for properties. One of them was a 1031, which I had to figure out going back to get the dollar amounts right. So anyway, when you depreciate the property, you have to get the depreciation amount, the same. And then also one of them had bonus depreciation because I guess they let you do that last year. So I had a huge expense. I think it was a garage door or something. And so the accountant took a bonus, but it wasn't quite done. So I had to figure that out. But I will say that TurboTax handles it well as long as you can answer the questions properly. And if you see flickering, that's this LED light I'm using, and the power in my house is just terrible. Let me fix this real quick. There, because it's even driving me crazy. So, oh great, now my head's glowing. So, anyway, I would use it. It was basically, I paid $85 for the software. I thought I was going to pay the $60 for the help to get the properties back in like I had done in the past, but I ended up not. I have a pension, so it asked a bunch of weird questions about straight line, and I can't even think of all the different examples, but the bottom line was, every question that I had, it was almost as if Google's Gemini had just gone through TurboTax through and through, in and out. And I didn't just blindly trust it. I asked it questions that sounded convoluted to me to get its answer. And it was really good about understanding my confusion. So I wouldn't understand why certain things were done. And it would say, okay, I understand why you might think that. For example, one of the boxes in my 1099 R, I think it's called, for pension. Anyway, it's got this weird box where they took money out and I had to put some in to contribute to it. And it was this strange amount, or a small amount. It was like $68 for my whole pension for the whole year. But then it also said that that box was for insurance. So I needed clarification, like where do I put the health insurance that I had to pay for my wife? Like, did it count? And it doesn't really matter for the US government because it was below the amount that I could use to write off, but for California, you could use it. And so I had to basically tell TurboTax on one end, and then it was like, I don't care, but it had it in its memory so that when it got to California, it was a number that it could use. So it was just interesting that I could ask these questions of TurboTax and say, should I use this number? Does it matter? And it was like, yeah, you should. Even though it won't matter for the federal, it'll matter for this later. So I just found it, I don't want to say a super great deal, because to me we shouldn't have to pay for software to do our taxes. They shouldn't just be that convoluted. But oh my golly, I think I had like 26 or 27 pages of federal, and then I don't know how many pages of California. It was like worksheets and this and that and blah blah blah. I mean, the actual tax pages themselves is maybe like 4 or 5, I guess, the Schedule E and the 1040 blah 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 A, I don't know. But anyway, the actual forms, there aren't that many, but just all these worksheets that it does to figure out these numbers is just ridiculous. But again, $85 versus the 1,000 something I was paying, it was money well spent. And honestly, I was already doing most of the work anyway. I have spreadsheets for the rental properties where I enter the income, I enter all the expenses, I enter the depreciation, I enter the mortgage interest, the taxes, all the junk I pay to fix. The only thing that he was doing that I wasn't is he would just, like, I would send him all these spreadsheets and then he would just take all those numbers and put them in. And the only thing he would do is occasionally he would call and ask me and say, what were these repairs? Like, he wanted them kind of sorted out because sometimes the amounts might be high. And that's when I would say, oh, it was to fix a faucet, or it was to fix the furnace or the garage door. Well, furnaces and garage doors you have to depreciate. A faucet, you just fix it. So those were things. But those were questions I can ask the AI. I mean, it knows now what to do. So I have to say, if you took the time that I would normally spend to gather up all this information and then the time I spent entering into TurboTax, I probably put in about, I'm going to say, maybe 2.5 hours of TurboTax time. No, let's go with 3. So 3 hours of TurboTax time, and then the rest of it was all the time I would have spent anyway gathering all the documents and sorting it out. So I had to do that regardless. So basically I spent 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and it was $1,000 versus the $85. So you could see the math, how it works out. And then next year it won't even take me as much time because the houses are in the TurboTax, so the depreciation's already there, and it'll know what to do next year, and it won't ask me so many questions. So yeah, it was definitely worth my time. I would do it again, but I have to say that the AI was just, it was as good as calling the help and asking it, because I asked the questions in the same plain English I would have asked, I would have asked the tech support for $60. So I don't want to say that accountants are obsolete, but between the TurboTax and the Gemini, it really helped out a lot. And maybe ChatGPT would have worked as well, but I've just had pretty good luck with the Google version, so that's what I've been going with. And to all the 1 or 2 of you that might see this video, go for it, I guess. If you're paying an accountant, I think you can do it. And then also, I used to worry about getting audited, and the thing I came to that conclusion too was, if you get audited, it's not like they're going to throw you in jail. They ask you to prove why you did it. If you can't prove it, you just go, look, I'm a dummy and I didn't know what I was doing. I gave it my best shot, but this friggin' taxes are so convoluted. I didn't attempt to go be dishonest. I did it to the best I could, and I answered everything as honest as I understood the questions to be. So if they come back and say, you screwed up and we audit you and you owe us $100 for doing it wrong, I'm like, okay, I'll write them a check for $100, but whatever. It was $100 I would have had to pay if I had them done the right way by the accountant, provided they even did it right. So I'm just not going to live in fear with all that stuff. Oh my God, so many years I lived in fear with, oh, what if they audit me? But it really comes down to, you just screw up, you write them a check for what you screwed up for, and whatever. I mean, I guess it just is what it is. Don't want to be, but I'm not going to keep paying $1,000 a year for that. Good grief. So anyway, I hope you guys found this useful, or all 1 or 2 of you, and have a good afternoon, morning, or evening, wherever this video may find you.